Welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to another GBHL YouTube channel video. You're here with your channel host GBHL James, and I'm bringing you my first hobby vlog, my first little bit of painting since after our wonderful trip to the USA and the Nova Open. So as you can see in front of me, I do not have any Lord of the Rings miniatures, and that's because with the Nova Open out the way, there isn't really an awful lot of Lord of the Rings things which need to be done soon. I am thinking about maybe going to Sterling, in which case I will be getting my mounted and on foot Saruman painted up and put together. But I think for the benefit of the channel as much as anything else, I think it's time that I started to nail some of these other projects which you've seen in various hobby blogs. One of which is of course Guild Ball, but other ones that I have are the Battle of Five Armies, is it 10mm box set game, and also Saga. I've been stalling on Saga for a very long time, and part of the reason for that is because the bottom of the metal miniatures, I sort of clipped away all of the bits, the little stumpy bits, and then I've been pinning them into the bases. Having done this with the bases of the Guild Ball miniatures, I'm now wishing that I had just kind of puttied over those bits so that I didn't end up with these little miniature kind of hill things at the bottom of the thing. So I'm working on the Guild Ball miniatures. Last time that you saw these guys, I had been doing the cobbled patterned bases, which of course now pretty much finished apart from any gore or anything I put on. And the next step for me was to be painting the skin. Now unfortunately when I got back from Nova, this guy here, Rage, for some reason was missing his arms. Now I know that he's only been there on my bookcase, which means sorry, that's my raffle prize there from Longbottom Carnival, which means that it's either the cleaner or Jane, although Jane says that she's not touched anything. I've accidentally knocked this guy over or knocked him or grabbed him, and his arms have fallen off, and I'm sure that his arms are in the Hoover. So I will be contacting Steamforce Games, see if they've got any sort of spare arms for him. So I've been doing the skin, and these guys I've made the most progress with. I still have 3 layers of highlights, 3 or 4 layers of highlights left to do on these guys. Now this miniature here is probably the most amount of skin that I've painted on a single miniature. Which is making me want to go and get my my Bayorn, which I promised to do a long time ago. Get him up, because I'm pretty happy with how he's turning out. Now the miniatures do lend themselves, I have to say, to some good painting. They might be a little bit delicate, the contact points might be a little bit small, so pinning is quite tough. But the miniatures themselves seem to lend themselves to be painted nice. So all that I've been doing with these guys is my sort of tried and tested and trusted, shall we say, let's see if we can get a better, come on, focus, tried, tested and trusted painting of skin technique, and that is I do start off with my rat skin flesh, which is like a darker, like a much darker, more orangey skin colour. I paint that all over, and then I wash it with Agrex Earthshade, and what that does is it gives a very kind of dark colour in the recesses, a real kind of extra layer of shading. Light isn't very good in here, I have to say. I'm painting in quite an orangey light. My painting lamp, the bulb is gone. So you can see it gives them a very dark finish when you then wash it with Agrex Earthshade. But then I go over it again, which is all I'm up to with this. It looks like it's a bit lighter, but that's just mainly because of the contrast. And I just go over the raised areas with the rat skin flesh again. And the next phase is to do a 50-50 with the rat skin flesh with Ungor flesh, which is a much lighter tone, and start highlighting up with that. And then I go over with just the Ungor flesh, and then I actually put a wash of is it the Recalf wash? I can't remember what it's called. Recalf skin. What's it called? Where is it? Reikland Flesh Shade, that's it. I don't know what Recalf is. Reikland Flesh Shade goes over it, and then I kind of finish off a little bit of highlighting with the Ungor flesh and some Ashabti bone, just sort of pick out the sort of final bits of detail. So I'm going to try and make a little bit of progress with these today, and hopefully I'll come back when the skin is finished, and then I'll go on to the bits of clothing, which is going to be red. So coming back in, Strategy Battle Gamers, because I'm in an interesting predicament in that I'm actually really happy with where these guys are at the moment. I think apart from the girl, I just need to do a little bit more with her. I'm not used to highlighting girls, shall we say, but I'm in an interesting predicament because I'm looking at these miniatures and I'm actually thinking the skin kind of looks done, but I would normally do a couple of extra layers of highlights, and I'm just thinking at the moment that you just need a little bit of a touch maybe on some of the ends, like end of the nose, end of the brow and such like. But if you look there, it kind of looks pretty good, if you don't mind saying so myself. I'm not saying it sort of in a smug way, but because the models are reasonably cartoony and you know they're very, very good models, they kind of look finished a lot earlier. It's not like you're going for the same kind of realism perhaps when you do a Lord of the Rings miniature, which seems to sort of be a lot more realistic models, even though it's fantasy. So let's see if I can get this guy focused. Come on. I don't know if you guys agree, but I'm pretty happy with the highlighting in these guys, and that would just be highlighted up to Ungor flesh at the moment. I've not put any Rakarth, is it Rakarth? I can't remember what it was, Reichland flesh shade on it, on any of them yet, because I'm not really sure that they may need it, apart from the girl, because a lot of the features are very, very easy to pick out because of the nature of the models. If you guys can see there, the lighting in here is pretty terrible. This guy didn't have too much to do. The guy who obviously was the most to do is the big guy over there, Boar. This is Shank. He's got a bit of a weird face that seems to have had loads of problems in the moulding sort of phase, the sculpting phase. Oh, come on, focus. I think you get the idea. He seems to turn out alright. Now the one that I'm not happy with the most is this young lady. Like I say, that's because I've got no idea how to highlight certain parts. She's just never had to paint them before. Not on a miniature. So I'm probably going to give her a bit of a Reichland flesh shade and then do another highlight. But I'm reasonably happy how she's turned out. Perhaps comment below and let me know what you guys think. So I'm reasonably happy with where they are. I might do some of their eyes now, or I might leave their eyes and start painting some of the reds. That will definitely make these guys look a lot more done. So I'll move on with that. But if you guys comment below, just let me know what you think of the guys so far. So coming in here for now will be the final part of my hobby blog and the progress that I have made so far with these guys. So I've gone on to painting some of the reds on. Not highlighted up yet, just a base colour of reds. Now one thing that I did find, I found that it was quite hard to try and work out in my own mind where I wanted what is effectively the team colours to be. So as you can see, it's quite a dark red. What is up with my camera and focusing tonight? There we go. Trying to work out where I wanted those team colours to be and where I wanted the more kind of the butcher's apron, which will be obviously a dirty kind of white colour. So as you can see, I've gone for a bit of a red trim, and then that bit of cloth there is a bit red there on him, and then this bit that it goes around, that will be the kind of white colour. I'll have blood splatters up it, and then of course there'll be the leather, and that's one of the key things with these guys, is kind of working out where I want the leather, where I want the team colours to be. So as you can see on him, I've completely left his trousers. There's lots of kind of leather strapping and everything, but I have actually gone for a red glove, the red arm wraps, red around that bit there, and also he's got a bit of a red apron just to bring that in, bring his team colours in. So it's just trying to work out where you want the team colours to be. With this guy, with the arms missing, Rage. I've gone for the red waistcoat, but what I'm going to do is, buoyed on by what I managed to achieve with Legolas's saddlecloth, I'm going to do like a checker pattern on the back. So I'm not sure which colour I'm going to go with yet. I don't want to come too far away from the butcher's colour red, so I'm going to have a bit of a think. Probably go for kind of maybe a red and black, since he is going to have a kind of a creamy white shirt underneath. So probably a black and red checker design, maybe a little bit of detail in there. With Brisket here, she's got a red top. What I've noticed with a couple of these guys is that there's a few areas which I didn't notice beforehand, but I have noticed now, where I've forgotten to paint the skin. So on her, I couldn't quite make it out because of a bit of a lack of detail there, I have to say. Is that her top should be riding up a bit and her trousers are quite low, so her belly should be on show there. So I need to paint her belly and go for some skin there. And with Ox, I need to paint his toes. As you can see, his toes are missing some paint, some skin colour paint, and I missed this guy's toes as well. I missed Boar's toes, which is a little bit of a pain. So Shank here, he's probably got the sort of the most amount of natural areas where you think, right, okay, well I can put the red there. But yeah, it's just trying to work out where can you get the red in, which is the team colour, without taking away from what are clearly either apron areas, which are of course going to be white with blood splatter, or areas which are clearly kind of strapped on leather armour or trousers. They could have gone for the red trouser look, but I decided against that. So the next step with these guys is I'm going to highlight up those reds, and then start getting some of the leather and the browns on. I don't think it will take me too long to paint these guys. I honestly think that this is probably just a couple of painting sessions, maybe 3 or 4 hours worth of painting to get them to a reasonable standard, I think. Maybe being a bit ambitious, but I'll be glad to sort of get them done, because once they're done, that's my Guild Ball team done, and I can move on to something else, which would be cool. And like I say, I'm hoping maybe to have a little look at doing the Battle of 5 Armies and also the Saga stuff perhaps next. So guys, I hope you enjoyed sort of having a little bit of an update and seeing how the Guild Ball miniatures have got on. This hobby vlog will probably go up on Tuesday, so it ties in quite nicely with Guild Ball Tuesdays. So don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe. Support your Hobbit hobby. Follow us on Facebook and on Twitter as well. Make sure you support Jamie on Patreon if you can, and help him out. And happy strategy battle gaming, guys.